up? It's Amaj back here with another video, and today we're about to be watching 8 WWE finishers that were created by accident. Oh my god, I remember one, and that's Drew McIntyre's. I think he was in like 3MB, and he did like some type of, he was supposed to do a big boot, but then he like propelled himself and kicked Kane somehow, and that's how the Claymore was born. But let's see some other ones that they got on here.
This fist broke Little Miss Becky Lynch's face.
A wrestling move being created out of a botch is kind of rare, as usually if a botch version of a move leads to a somewhat riskier move being creative, then it's unusual for the move to be repeated, never mind become famous around the world. But in these instances, wrestlers actually stuck with that move, and some even made it their actual finisher. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at botches that led to a new wrestling finisher being created. Number 1. South of Heaven. A Damian Priest South of Heaven finishing move is currently one of the most protected and credible moves in WWE right now. The move even won Priest the world title at WrestleMania 40, and the move stands out thanks to being a variation on the popular chokeslam that has done.
You know who else move used to be protected? Baron Corbin. Bro, I miss when his move used to be protected and they randomly had this nigga Drew McIntyre kick out of it. That shit was stupid.
Dominated the wrestling scene for decades. Now, believe it or not, the finishing move surfaced thanks to a notable botch, as Priest managed to fall whilst delivering a standard chokeslam. Speaking of Fightful, the former world champion discussed the unique origin of his finishing move, saying, "For the South of Heaven chokeslam, I was training at the old Monster Factory, and at the time the trainer on Sundays was Jim Molyneux, who was a referee for ECW. It was before I had my first match, and he was telling me, we're going to come up with a finisher for you. Try a chokeslam. The reason why I got into pro wrestling was because of The Undertaker. I was a big fan and just everything about him. When he said try a chokeslam, I got excited, and for the first time I tried it, it didn't come out smooth. Then I tried it again and I fell. When I fell sitting down. Maybe because it was a big guy I was trying it on." A Priest went on to say that the next time he did the move, he purposely fell, and the South of Heaven was born as his primary finishing move. Number 2. Tiger Driver 91. The Tiger Driver.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the Priest move is like really different nowadays. A lot of people always like to have like the most standard finisher ever, and most people are barely different in wrestling right now. But Damian Priest's finisher is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Driver is a move that is commonly used outside of WWE, yet the origins of this move are interesting because the move was created completely by accident. Mitsuhara Misawa was the man often cited as being responsible for the move, and the story goes that Misawa attempted a powerbomb and he encountered an unexpected hiccup. His timing was slightly off and his opponent's body didn't land in the traditional way. The move Misawa had accidentally created was the Tiger Driver, and it would soon obtain a reputation for being one of the most deadly and legitimate moves out there. Number 3. Powerbomb. Speaking of the powerbomb,
fuck no, that ain't nothing to fuck with. Even if he like accidentally dropped them on his head, but to still do that move nowadays, you have to trust your opponent like crazy. I wouldn't be able to put my trust in another person that to drop me on my fucking neck and break it.
the powerbomb is another move that became a new move virtually out of nowhere. The origin of the move goes back to the 1950s, and when NWA champion Lou Thesz and fellow legend Antonio Rocco were wrestling, a piledriver spot was about to go down, and the two men inadvertently created a powerbomb. When the two realized that the move was unique and received a thunderous reaction from the crowd, the move managed to be a regular feature in the matches as the years went on. By the time wrestling arrived in the 1990s, numerous wrestlers in major companies had adopted the powerbomb as their primary finishing move. Whilst the first powerbomb was rather dangerous to look at, especially when you consider that the move was supposed to be a pile driver, the move would evolve as the years went on, and there have been endless variations seen over the past 2 decades. Number 4. Trick Shot. A Trick Williams trick shot finishing move didn't surface via a botch. However, the move was never planned and it was never improvised in the middle of a featured match. When Williams was wrestling Ilya Dragunov, Williams decided to hit a running knee out of nowhere, and this is where the trick shot finishing move would be born. The former NXT champion discussed this during an interview with Fox Sports Happy Hour. "I would say it was actually accidental. It was Ilya Dragunov, Trick Williams too. It was just a fight. It was a fight. He's hitting me in the face, he's hitting me in the mouth, he's trying to inflict so much pain. At this point I'm like, I'm gonna hurt you, whatever happens, happens. The first thing that came to my mind is, I'm gonna put my knee right in the middle of his forehead." Williams went on to say that the crowd going crazy was a key factor in the move becoming his new finisher. "I went for it full speed, he hit a backflip."
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to hey, that's very unique to just like come up with a finisher out of nowhere, especially when you in like NXT and like developing. Most people around there be getting like advice from like veterans, and some of them want to be like them and take their their whole finishing set. But like to come up with your own finisher is always special, and accidentally out of nowhere, I call that a whole blessing, bro. So I think Trick Williams' whole little trick shot was pretty unique. At least you don't have like a regular power bomb, regular this, regular or a variation of another move. Well, I guess you can say this is a variation of another move because it's like I guess a high knee strike.
His face was bleeding and the crowd was going crazy. I was like, this right here should be my new finish. I was doing the spinning trick kick before, but in that moment with Ilya Dragunov, when it came down to it and I wanted to hurt you and inflict as much pain as possible, putting my right knee in the middle of your forehead seems like a pretty good idea. Williams was definitely right in using the knee as his new finishing move, as the best moves in modern wrestling are those that can be just hit out of nowhere, and this was most definitely the case with this particular finishing move. Number 5, the diving headbutt. A wrestler regretting their own finishing move is uncommon in the wrestling industry, as traditionally the wrestler will take great pride.
We getting on the topic of a diving fucking headbutt. I do not think this move is unique. I do not think it's just like anything. I just think it's fucking dangerous. I think it's dangerous because so many people got hurt by it. Daniel Bryan got hurt by it with so many concussions. You never know what happened with Chris Benoit. He kept taking so many headshots. Bro, I feel like it just never goes to plan on anything every time somebody uses a diving headbutt. That one match a long time ago with Chris Benoit, like did the diving headbutt off the cell, all all the way down there onto Kane. It's just like a suicide like dive off of there. You just diving flat on your belly all the way down there. That's how you know people are dedicated to wrestling.
In their move. However, when the move has a somewhat negative reputation, it's sometimes best that wrestler distances themselves from the move entirely. When it comes to Harley Race, in his later years, he spoke out about how much he regretted the diving headbutt move, and it's easy to see why. The diving headbutt is a controversial move mainly because it's seen by many as dangerous, and numerous wrestlers who use the move as a finisher have gone on to have lifelong issues with their necks. According to Race, the move itself was created accidentally, and it's easy to see when watching early versions of the move, as it often looks sloppy and awkward upon execution.
Yeah.
It's likely that Race went for some kind of splash, but managed to botch the move and managed to do damage with his head. Due to the move looking unique compared to every other high-risk move, it naturally just stuck as his finishing move. Number 6, the End of Days. And the End of Days managed to become one of the most protected finishers of the past decade, and this was without a doubt the correct approach to take in terms of the presentation and booking of the move, as the End of Days looked incredible whenever Baron Corbin would deliver it, and the move stood out for all the right reasons. Now, an interesting story about the move is that the move surfaced when Corbin was just playing around at the WWE Performance Center. Corbin shared this fascinating story during an interview with Chris Van Vliet, saying, "Same with Deep 6-2, we were playing around at the Performance Center, we had a crash pad ring, we can go in there and try things, and a kid named Sammy Callahan, I was playing around with him in the ring, and he does this thing where he springs off the bottom rope and catches you for a DDT, and I was just messing with him, and he jumped and I caught him, and I did the End of Days on him, and we both sat up and looked at each other like, wait a second, what was that?" Corbin went on to say that he would proceed to redo the move, and then he would send the footage to WWE official Billy Gunn for approval, and the rest they say is history. Yeah, like that's something cool, and then I just did it, and I was like, dude, and I filmed it, and at the time I sent it to Billy Gunn. I was like, yo, I think this is my finish, because I was really trying to find a finish at the time. He's like, that's awesome, I'm gonna use it tonight against the Shield. And I said, don't you dare, I will fight you when you come back. And he didn't, he was just messing with me. But so it was a complete accident, and it's just been something that really kind of put me on the map. It's a cool, unique first time ever seeing this finish, and then I protected it with every bit of my might. WWE rarely commits to protecting a new finisher to the level they did with the End of Days, and it was definitely a factor in the move getting over to the level it did. Number 7.
Bro, I really wish they protected it like every time. So if they not go have like Baron Corbin like win any championships during that match, they could at least like made nobody kick out of that. Just like giving it to Drew McIntyre as a one-off. It still pisses me off to this day. That move looks so cool and unique. It just impressed everybody, bro. impressed me too. Honestly impressed me just off the charts, bro. I really wish WWE back then wasn't like how it is.
DDT. Now, it's difficult to find a modern wrestling match without some form of a DDT featured within it, and the unbelievable thing about the move is that the legendary Jake the Snake Roberts created the move thanks to a notable botch in a match. According to the WWE Hall of Famer, he had a front face lock on a wrestler and then he awkwardly tripped over, and this ultimately led to the creation of the iconic move. Roberts expanded on the origin of the move during an interview with Niagara Frontier Publications. "Yeah, it was an accident. I was in the ring wrestling. I had a front face lock on a guy. He stepped on my feet and we fell backwards. He went on his head, I went on my back, and the fans went, oh. I went, wait a minute, I've got something here. And then I started working on it and come with it, and named it after the poison that everybody outlawed. The DDT would go on to become one of the most famous moves of all time, and it's insane to know that if Roberts didn't stumble backwards and botch during the match, then the DDT may have never seen the light of day. And number 8, the Claymore. Whilst the Future Shock DDT was
the DDT was so iconic everywhere. Now, like you said, that shit is just hit out of nowhere, and it feels like such a bland move now because everybody hits it. It's either a tornado DDT, a standard DDT, or just some other shit. I kind of like Drew's Future Shock DDT though.
a great move for Drew McIntyre, the Claymore just had that extra element of legitimacy and ferocity as a finishing move, and the fact that McIntyre could hit the move out of nowhere was a key factor in the move getting over. According to McIntyre, he did the move initially during his 3MB days, and the move surfaced due to a botch with his wardrobe. The former WWE champion revealed during an interview with KWCH that due to his in-ring gear being so tight, he was forced to kick up his other leg when executing a kick, and whilst the move looked fantastic, he ended up legitimately knocking himself out. I was in a match when I was younger and I was wearing tight leather pants. I ran to kick a guy in the face and the pants were so tight I had to kick up my other leg. I accidentally spun and landed on my head, I kicked him in the face, and then I knocked myself out. When I saw the footage back, I thought, wow, that is great. If I could figure out how to do that move without knocking myself out and maybe not wearing those tight leather pants, I'm jamming. The Claymore became McIntyre's primary finisher in 2017, and the move has managed to defeat names such as Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, and even Cody Rhodes. But there you have it, folks, botches that led to a new wrestling finish.
Yeah. The Claymore was like another one too, so I'm glad that really became like one of like the staples of his little WWE run, and basically won him championships, bro. But a lot of these were like a lot of these that were created accidentally were kind of bland moves nowadays in this setting of WWE. But a couple of these are just unique to every person, like the Deep Six, South of Heaven, or even another one of Baron Corbin's moves, the Claymore, bro. You just never know what you can create. Like you just saw Trick Williams, he created that damn Trick Me out of nowhere, and then like it just stuck to it. Sometimes you can do shit accidentally, and then shit just sticks. But hey, if you guys enjoyed that reaction, we on the road to 200 subs. Like and subscribe. But if you want to see more, I'll catch you guys later.